Ladies and gents, welcome. We are back. We're not on Kick. We're back where we belong, back on the old Twitch platform, and we are here with the we're at the final hurdle, Pabs. We're here in the grand final of the Katana OXC Super League. They're not really playing for a huge amount, to be fair, so it's going to be a pretty chilled out grand final this one.
Peanuts, mate, peanuts. That's what it is. Unbelievable. Literally, you're gobsmacked sometimes when you see some of the kind of cash and prizes these guys are playing for, and they've made it, all the way to the depths of the Super League final. It's going to be a tasty evening of Call of Duty, and it's back to an old school format of 2 best of 5, which is kind of super exciting. Except we are literally the argument raging in the Discord about whether it should be a best of 7. It's great when you're at the end of a long day of Call of Duty and you know that you want a quick turnaround, but when you've got one game of 2 best of 5s is definitely the way to go, and this should be very exciting.
Well, I am very glad they've done it because obviously my graphic that I have for maps is best of 5s only. I don't have a best of 7 one, so part of me is quite relieved that they've done this. I haven't updated the maps, which I will frantically switch and press the buttons to, because just demonstrating. But we do know our maps. Obviously, we've got a nice cheeky Mikado to get us underway. But while we speak about the maps, obviously, Pabs, we can obviously introduce both of the teams for anyone who is hopping on board right at the end with us. But again, this is very much peak challengers talent on both teams. Moon versus vVv. I'm begging it stands for vVv. I don't know if it does, but maybe the guys will tell us at some point. Maybe
I just don't think it's right if Henry's not in the team and it's vVv. Like, surely Henry's got to be in it for the old vVv. But yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. So while I update the map, so I mean, we're starting off with a very pacemaker one, Pabs. We've got a Mikado hardpoint, which is one that when we cast the cup the other day for a Wobbabobs, it was very much a case of either teams did really well on it and it was very close, or teams got smashed. There wasn't really much of a middle ground when we were casting those games, but it wouldn't surprise me here with the teams that we've got in the grand final if we get another one which sees 250, 240 something or other.
Yeah, I mean, largely I think you're seeing if a team isn't able to control P2 from the rip, or isn't able to start on the kind of bad side and make their way around to P2, they're going to get absolutely ruined, especially when you kind of get to that second time round and you're in upper grannies and it just becomes a bit of a bloodbath. If teams are a little bit more matched up, which is what we saw obviously quite a lot last week in the Awaba, expect these to be much more configured in terms of capabilities, then expect it to be a lot tighter, expect the battles for those money hills to be I don't know, a lot less strenuous, because once you set up, if you've got like a solid turret up top, even on that P2, you're going to absolutely dominate. So it's a good money hill, and then it really comes down largely, Major. We see that kind of. It comes down to that more open hills, especially if people have got ordnance already in the back pocket. So you're looking at P5, P3 kind of situations. It's not, it is P3, situations where you've got more open hills. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. This is a fast-paced map, so it's it's like horse racing commentary at the best of times. In fact, last week I think we got to a 250-242 game, and the ending was it was insane. The kill feed was barely able to keep up. Never mind us casters.
Yeah, and Felix wants a grand final. How are we, Felix? How are we, young man? And so we're in the lobby. We're just waiting on the guys to press that big red button. But yeah, guys, if you are hopping on board with us in the grand final, we do have a 2 best of 5 format. To be honest, I know they've changed it to a best of 7, but I am quite relieved that Katana have decided to do the 2 best of 5 format, because I think people who come through the winners bracket, they do deserve a little bit of a bonus. We do have the bracket on the screen. Ignore the bit in the background. This is Group A. I didn't have time to update that, but that is the bracket. And vVv, as I'm going to now call them and christen them, vVv. They obviously they lost to Team Moon in that winners round 2. So we've got a reenactment of that game here in the grand final. So it does seem right that teams that come through and do not lose have that advantage, in my personal opinion. But obviously the typical kind of COD community might go against that. But I quite like the 2 best of 5 format, to be honest. I've always felt that's the best way to go.
That's not what you were saying last Sunday, though, mate. Listen, it's a long one.
It's a long day when you want to go to bed, right? You just do a best of 1. I think winner takes all. Just go for it.
No, honestly, I think it's obviously when you've got less games in a day. So when you get to the Sunday, if there's only 3 games, maybe you can get away for broadcast purposes. You can get away with it. From playing purposes, I think it's a little bit better to keep it a little bit shorter on a long day, so players aren't completely drained. Especially if there's large gaps as well, it just can put players off intensely. But if you have got just one day where you've got your final dedicated to that day, everyone can prepare in the same manner. They can, get the shot on point and get into the game. 2 best-of-5s, way more exciting, and obviously gives the team that falls at the first hurdle an opportunity to make it really count. So I don't know, it's a weird one. Looking at the maps, Major, the one talking point for me really is I just don't know whose choice it is, but if they've worked it really well, is keeping Zhao Cruz away from an LSELO S&D until the very end.
Yeah.
Like, I get that Control might still be his kind of arena, but we know for sure that LSELO S&D is his absolute bedrock of a game. He can dominate that almost single-handedly, and that could be a problem. But if you already tie that first series up and you're able to go into the second best-of-5 with your tails up, that'd be great. But you don't want to get into that game and have that huge psychological blow of Zhao Cruz just dominating.
Yeah, I think as well, like the ability that SMGs can influence on an LSELO has slowly started to come through quite considerably. I think what you tend to get with a lot of the AR players that are watching their lanes. You'll have maybe a pick here or there, but it always feels as though, I mean, we've spoken about Liam Furious all the time, how effective he can be in an LSELO search and control just by being in that middle building and winning gunfight after gunfight after gunfight. Yeah. So it doesn't surprise me really that Cruz has had a lot of impact on that map, especially, and being able to drop big numbers. For an SMG, which, I mean, whenever I've played that map, it's been absolutely hideous to try and run an SMG on. So credit where it's due to these boys to get it underway. But we are now underway, guys, in our grand final here between vVv and Team Moon on a nice cheeky slow-paced Mikado S&D, Pab. So I hope you got a drink with you, because I don't. So this might be a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. First big fight goes down towards the left, and it is going to be vVv just putting out that player. Twisted again, Major. Remember, very good at just taking really wide kind of plays off angle and kind of flanks. He's going to get taken in the back by Genesis, so nice read. So mid is going to be covered there by Team Moon. But again, it's all about this positioning, Major, for this P2. P1 kind of almost an irrelevance in many ways. And we see it, obviously, we see that across a lot of hardpoint games. Across the board, from going back to Cold War, Vanguard, wherever, but very much, very self-evident in this particular map.
Yeah, nice couple of kills coming through there from this young man, Twisted, a player who is definitely one that we've been keeping an eye on as of late. He's been really making a scene in his first year of competitive Call of Duty. Him and the old Vitalized roster are definitely starting to make their stamp, but at the moment the team making the stamp is going to be Team Moon. That team is the boys in red on your screen, and those are the guys coming through the winners bracket. But saying that, this young man Twisted is trying to do his best to make sure that he forces the second best-of-5, potentially an early fashion, perhaps 5 in a row for him now.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, let's not get too carried away. We know what the hell. We know that this P2 can just be an absolute bloodbath. So expect the kill feed to be largely blue, as Control is going to be kept by them. You can see already Mike Jockett is making his way around the back. So another big fight. He is going to get taken down by Genesis. So the Team Moon, Major, already set up for P3. Again, this is going to be interesting to see the approach from the blue arrows here. They're quite well spread out. Mate, they have absolutely dominated that P2, but now they've got to make a big break, and already very much one-sided approach from Team Moon.
Yeah, that's why we talk about money hills, and again another couple of kills from Twisted. 11 and 2 now. Strong start for him, and a very strong P2, as you mentioned, Pabs, for vVv. So Team Moon going to have to try and work their way in towards this warehouse hill. Not an easy one to do here. vVv apologies as they're now going to try and push through courtyard. Nothing comes of it. Noah will be up top, but again another pick comes through, but it will not be vVv able to push in the hill. And P3 in the early stages at least, Pams, looks as though they're going to get a solid 30 seconds and potentially take the lead now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a really nice hold again. Just making this into a money kill. This is usually a lot more heavily contested, but done a really good job of keeping Team vVv out of the area. Twisted's gone absolutely ham. Not sure whether he managed to get a streak in that 11 and 2 start. I think it just came at the wrong time for him.
He did.
In fact, he is going to be there with that Cruz, so absolute work. Whether he can drop that on Zhao Cruz, who's having a very slow start, he does manage to get another big kill. So 5 and 7. So despite what you would probably argue as being an incredible start in terms of kills from vVv, it's not really really gone to any kind of way of getting them over the hill. Team Moon just doing exactly what you should do on hardpoint. If you're not slaying out, get the time.
Yeah, really good bit of play coming through. So they are now locked in towards P4. A lot of players going to be transitioning over mid, and Vital's going to catch a couple of them. Of course, he doesn't catch number 6, though, in Cruz, and Cruz is going to punish him as he manages to take 2 down, and it will be Team Moon back in the hill once more. Twisted going to try and push his way up through Market. He's going to have absolutely no progress, though, as he gets cut down almost instantly. Gnarl is going to be forced just to back up for the time being, as Keza is going to try and take him down before, now subsequently pushing in towards the hill. But again, Cruz begins another big gunfight, and it looks as though it's just going to be a heavily fought and contested one, but vVv will get quite a bit of time potentially if there's not a big contest that comes through.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to need to challenge this Team Moon, otherwise they're going to see that lead flipped over again. Only about 13 seconds, but Niall is going to make sure that that doesn't happen. Gets themselves some healthy scrap time, Major, well over 10 seconds. Going to give Team Moon that 20-second lead, and they've done really well so far, but this is one of those open hills we talked about prior to the game, this P4, and this could be Twisted's opportunity maybe to free things up. They are going to need to get full control of this. I think you can hear that being launched out, but they've got some control, and they're going to need to get a few kills. This is all important. First challenge has got to go their way. It isn't going to go vVv's way, and maybe Team Moon are going to be able to start to extend that lead out even more.
Yeah, and so Twisted slow down just a little bit from that explosive start, and now Moon are really starting to run away with the time. 25 points shy of 100 still. As the gunfights go red once more, and Genesis grabs Vital. It looks as though Twisted's going to be the last man for anything, as Gnarl is just going to put a bullet in the back of his own teammate. So with 20 seconds remaining on this hill, it looks as though vVv are going to be forced to rotate early once again. And over in Barbers, who's going to win this one? There's one for Vital on the rotation. They've still got to deal with Genesis out the back, and Vital will come through, but Genesis with a really big 2-piece in the back. He's just locking down these kills, and now he's going to have to try and push in, but again, it's just going to be so difficult pushing into grannies, but Jokka is just going to chew through 3 players straight away.
Yeah, they lined up pretty nicely for him, able to get an absolute beast of a set of kills there. It is going to give them, again, that control. And we talked about the team that's able to turn both these kind of granny hills into money, potentially doing well. But when you've let yourself go so heavily in the previous other kills, they're going to be using this to catch up. 146 plays, 90 is solid, near 60-second hold. Going to be required, Major, and that is not going to do it, as we see Team Moon again. Major, they are cutting through them like butter. This team vVv just being way too pliant and letting them into the hill.
Yeah, they're rotating early, so they're playing it well. They're just not getting the kills to boot, and now Niall finds himself on a streak of 5, and he does have a Predator missile or cruise missile to work with. So now it will be vVv rotating early once again, but you've got to feel as though they've got to hold this hill. But Twiz with a really big gunfight win right off the rip. They're still waiting for that next pick. Cruz is going on a bit of a pinch here. There's going to be one man close right. Manages to win one. Can't quite get onto the second. And Gnarl's going to invest the streak here early on. Isn't going to get anything for it. But the boys in red, they're on the hill. And now it's danger signs for a vVv.
Absolutely, yeah. We talk about this kind of Goldilocks zone where you're just able to, you know, you can start picking 15, 20 seconds off each hill and just be able to turn that over. There's going to be Genesis finally taken out of the hill as Twisted is going to be there trying to fight the good fight. You feel, Major, in many ways, if Twisted was able to match his slaying ability with a capability of getting time on the kill, this is a different game entirely. But with players, you know, largely going negative, getting some time, it hasn't been quite enough. They are finally, Major, going to be able to breach that 100-second mark. They are 100 seconds behind Team Moon. They're going to need to play this almost immaculately. And as we head to the second rotation, believe it or not, Major, it's going to be a massive mountain to climb for Team vVv.
Yeah, it's been a really good hold, actually, of that hill. They pushed out quite considerably down through the 3 lanes that they needed to just to push out of this car park hill, and it will be Twisted again with another 2-piece. He's really trying his utmost to keep the boys in with a shouting chance, and there's another one, 6 in a row for Twisted, and the rotations over to P2. They're going to happen pretty swiftly. Genesis is just going to play this carefully, though. Ready and waiting for any gunfight that comes through. But nice work there from Jokka just to sniff him out. Nobody currently on that P1. It will be Jokka, though, on the hill, as Vital looks to try and mop up a few players as he now combines for 12 between him, Twisted, and Jokka. So really good work in the later stages. But the thing is, Pablo, have they arguably given themselves a little bit too much to do?
just looking at the stats now, I mean, if Vital can get himself a cruise, if he can get 2 more kills, if I was him, I'd be considering playing for that, because that's potentially going to put you down. He gets knocked off at the final hurdle. Twisted is going to continue again on his streak, but you feel that if they were able to get maybe 2 pieces of ordnance, they'd be able to then use that to just keep control of potential any pushes onto the next few kills, and that would give them that extra bit of opportunity to get maybe 20 or 30 seconds that they're not going to be able to get otherwise. So this is going to come down potentially to a really good use of Twisted's cruise there. There's going to be Vital trying to protect. I think he knows there's a player coming up behind. He is just going to reposition and try and let his health get back to 100. This has been a beautiful bit of play. Oh, the time, and he just goes to run at the wrong time, and there's a player going to be waiting around the corner. They need this hold so bad.
Yeah.
60 seconds, maybe 70 seconds. So desperately need a good hold on this hill.
Niall, big first pick, but unfortunately snaps onto the trophy instead of Jocker, who was just tucking himself away in the corner. Jocker's going to spin around, and he wins a second, but Twiz again is still going to be last man standing as those players frantically try and cross over. Cruz with one, Zhao Cruz with a second, and now the time is ticking, and unfortunately vVv's chances at bringing themselves back into this one are starting to look very, very slim indeed. Twisted through the back alley, able to take down Niall, but there's still going to be a few more players. Even he can't get that working. Cruz still watching the front, and now they've got to try and rotate, and Cruz wins the gunfight. So this scrap time is going to pretty much put them slap bang on the edge of winning this map 1. 15 seconds remaining. This is going to be difficult, and now number 5, Twiz, trying to believe his mark. There's 2 for Twiz, who somehow stays alive. Is he going to go for the reach out here or try and play it? He has got a little bit of reinforcement, but can the Frenchman manage to do the damage as Genesis comes through, and Genesis absolutely beams 2 players in the hill with 3 seconds left. I think map 1 is done unless Vital can do the Lord's work. The contest is in, but unfortunately the help is not, and map 1 will go in favour of the boys in red. Team Moon looking strong.
Yeah, really slow start from Team Moon, but they in terms of kills, but they just got time so efficiently. But really, when you look at the stats towards the end of the game, their kill count just went through the roof. And in the end, what was a kind of twisted environment ended up being all about Zhao Cruz. And this is largely the difference maker right here. Zhao Cruz gets 26 kills, 21 deaths, 19 non-traded major luck at that time, 1 minute 14 compared to Twisted, who only got himself about 30 seconds. So that is a massive difference maker there. When your top Slayer is also getting a massive chunk of time, makes it so easy for your team to just go on and dominate that hard point.
Yeah, so map 1, 250 to 150 to the team in red. I'll just quickly update the scores for you guys to see. But yeah, it wasn't exactly like Slaying wasn't going in their favour. Obviously, we saw you mentioned it, Pabs. Twisted had a really good game there, and it wasn't like they were getting battered on some of the hills. It just felt as though they were in position, they were ready to go, and then all of a sudden they got broken so easily. It happened on, I would say, maybe 2, potentially 3 hills in a row, where they were locked up, they were set, and you thought, right, okay, they're going to get at least a solid 40, and then all of a sudden, it was either Twiz or Genesis on a couple of occasions getting a big couple of kills, and all of a sudden, it just fell through for them once again.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. They just weren't able to get them really important first, 4 kills. They just weren't able to stop that first wave of Team Moon coming in, and that just largely disrupted their entire gameplay. And the knock-on effect of that is that you end up chalking hills as well with the solid amounts of scrap time. And you just saw time and time again, Niall would jump onto a hill with 11 or 12 seconds remaining and just push the time out even further, allowing his team to get set up for next. And they just, a lot of the time, watching from the point that we were watching, it looked like Twisted was dominating that map, but really in the background, you've got Zhao Cruz going huge, you've got Niall dominating time, and it just made it so easy for them. Obviously, going into an S&D, totally different situation, totally different pace. Going into an Embassy S&D in particular, this could be a lot more interesting, expecting to see something more from maybe Niall, and maybe to help, that's going to potentially push Team Moon out to a 2-0, or are we going to see a little bit more out of Team Joker in terms of just being able to control map? I think they need this comeback. They can't afford to go 2-0 down.
Yeah, it definitely feels as though they've got a... I mean, the thing is, with Search and Destroy and Hardpoint on this game, even Search and Destroy at the start, I mean, it's not a Mikado Search and Destroy, but the pace of Search and Destroy in this game is like either lightning fast at the start, and then you have nothing for about 45 seconds to a minute, or you have ridiculously quick rounds, it's over, or you have the slowest round of Search and Destroy you're ever likely to see. It doesn't feel like there's much of a medium. And Embassy is exactly the same as a Mikado for the most part, especially when it comes to snipers being able to get those picks down the car park side of the map. So I don't really know what we're going to see in this one, to be honest. I'm open for any sort of suggestion here, Pabs. But regardless, if I do see a sniper, I will be quite happy. And oh yes, we have one. Okay, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's going to be the time, and I have no idea how he's not hit that shot, but yeah, you are going to see the sniper out towards this right hand side, the tennis court. But again, he's got to take his shots. The reaction time from Twisted not great there. He's just going to be forced to sit in silence and wait for that first blood to come through. Keza really highly pushed up, and again, you talked about that aggression. It is going to be vVv Major though who get that first kill. In fact, they're going to get the first 2 bloods as Cruz and Genesis are going to hit round 2.
Yep. So Twiz and Nile going to be the last 2. Oof, and you heard the crack there of the sniper as Twisted manages to take Twiz out. So it will now be Nile required for the 1 versus 4, and even a man of his search and destroy prowess, he's not able to do it. So it will be vVv with the first round on the board, and Twisted making an impact with the sniper pads. You can't underestimate how important it can be in search to at least knock the confidence of some of these players. Oh, as Ant's coming through with the sub. Thank you very much, Antoine. How are you, handsome man? Welcome, welcome. But yeah, sniper looks quite good with it, doesn't he, mate? Looks quite good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we talk about the aggression you mentioned earlier on. Keza getting a nice high line, but yeah, Twisted, absolute beast. I mean, he's part of this quartet of players that have come through in Maestro aspect and Chunk that have just had a big impact on the challenges scene. Usually, we see 1 or 2 players squeeze into what is a difficult scene to get involved with, regardless of how good you are, and we see 4 break through it in one go, which is great. But Twisted going off with the sniper is going to give vVv some confidence going into this. Twisted's going to back that up with some beautiful SMG play. Yep. First blood goes the way of vVv, and it's going to be seen Nile again on the back foot. 3v4 versus 4, mate.
Yeah, well, I think Vital must have got world's worst timing. Whoa, and it will actually mean that he drops. So all of a sudden, Jocker finds himself all alone as Cruz manages to get to him very quick succession. He's going to stick the defuse. I would assume Twiz is going to check this because he gets the hit marker. Boys? Oh no, Twiz! Oh, I don't think he got him. I think he got the defuse. He got the defuse. So he got the hit marker and he didn't check it quick enough, and vVv somehow managed to hustle around off the back of just Jocker Big Balls sticking the defuse and manages to get it.
I don't get it. I'm completely lost. We both saw the hit marker from the nade, so I am at a loss on that one. Twiz, you've got to... is it a communication breakdown? I don't know. Twiz's English is perfect. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I just think his overconfidence there has put his team at a two round disadvantage. Pre-fire's coming into orange, and that's going to be Twisted back on the sniper, and you can already see Twiz looking to make amends, mate. You're getting a high line there.
Yeah, and you heard the bang. It's certainly the kill feed. Oh, Twisted versus Genesis. Genesis, nice shot to take him down. So that shuts down the sniper presence for vVv. And now Jocker and Keza find themselves... as Genesis finds himself on the receiving end of quite a few assault rifle bullets to the face. It isn't going to be enough to drop him, though, but that would have been an important pick if they were able to get that one.
Absolutely, and Vital and Twisted going down so early is going to be problems. You've got Jocker on 0-1. Keza with bomb. Keza just going to get a very speculative nade out. Xiao Cruz going to get backed up, so Keza knows where he is. He's going to get a kill there. Pretty easy kill on Twiz, and that's going to leave Keza in a 1v3 major, not a position that you want to be in on an MC hardpoint. Again, everyone knows where he is, so this is normally where you would just find yourself yeeted off the map, but again, he's just got to not feed any kills to this team. Yeah, you can see Niall's here though, and Niall on that heady is not losing that one, so Moon will get around on the board off the back of a little bit of a counter snipe there. We saw Twisted be very impactful at the start, Pabs, but Genesis giving him a run for his money, making sure that they do have a little bit of a counter for it if it does come to it, and that's exactly what he managed to provide, and the boys get around on the board. That's what you need, mate. If you're up against the rapier, you're going to need a foil in the process, so it is going to be Genesis providing that foil and to be able to fight back as well. Just puts them on the back foot, allows, that little bit of doubt in the mind that if you peek, you're potentially going to get done. It is a bit more of a sniper battle than maybe just trying to provide any suppression, but again, we're going to see that early nade just put some ordnance and some exploding cars the way of Genesis. Another nade. Trophy is down though, so he should be reasonably well protected. The Major, he has got a decent sight. Is he going to know that plays there? It's a big miss. Keza is going to get backed up. He's going to get pushed down, and it's going to be Cruz with a pretty easy kill in the end. And it's going to see 3v3 Major as we hit that 1 minute mark. Yeah, good trade by Twisted. Twiz has popped Deddy though, and he's trying to make something work through kitchen. He was going to be on the other side of that door. Oh, that's a tricky angle. Oh, but unfortunately, even through the tiniest of angles, the bullets just go straight through the door and hit Twiz right in the chest. And it now leaves Genesis all on his own. So what will he manage to work here? 1 versus 3, 40 seconds. Does still have the bomb.
Is he going to peek low enough? No, Twisted makes him so weak. He'll be in a position where he's going to get pinched from arguably every single angle now from this point. They're not still pushing him though, so he might get a plant off if he sticks this.
Yeah, I think Bomb's going to be able to get down. Going to give him some cheap points, I guess, but I think this is going to be a tricky one. He's going to get covered from a few angles. I think if he can get one kill here, this might put some doubt in the other two players' minds. And as I say, that case, the caster comes in, Vital's going to put him into the back seat, and Twisted's going to get that defuse. So I think they're just going to wait potentially for any deadies that need to get up, or he's just going to stick the defuse. And it's going to be vVv looking very strong in the yesterday. Major, this is what you want in a final, isn't it? At the end of the day, you don't want to see 2-0, 3-0s going into that that second set of 5. You want a close game, but vVv going to give themselves that 2-round advantage. It is back to Team Moon to try and put a little bit of pressure. And again, I expect maybe just to see a change. This is about the time you expect to see a change in strategy, especially if it's not working. Are we potentially going to see Genesis stick the sniper away and pull out an AR? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's going to continue trying to apply that pressure from distance.
Yep. Well, is Twisted going to switch it up? We'll have to wait and see. Oh, wow, bang. Another one for Genesis. Vital looks as though he's going to get aggressive. He is going on the high ground as well here. So Vital's going on the hunt. Trying to locate him, but it looks as though he's out. Oh, no, never mind. He knows where another player is. There's one for Vital. The patience is absolutely beautiful from Vital as he takes Twiz and Cruz down. And now, a good start to the round for Moon. Has now become what looks to be a very difficult one. Saying that though, okay, I think he might have switched weapon literally just before he pulled the trigger on the sniper there, Genesis. But he's going to get full. He's going to get full bullets in the side of the back, and now it will be Niall all alone, 1 versus 2.
Yeah, Niall just able to see that push across. He's going to realise he's not able to get it. That's going to be an incredible shot there with the tightest of angles. So little gap, Major. I don't know how these kids do it. It's incredible at times. He's going to flop from the top and look at that. Oh my days.
Oh, wow.
Through the bomb. Incredible play by Twisted Major. 5 and 2. The kid's unstoppable. And that's going to put even more distance between these two teams.
Yeah. They had a very good map 1. For any of you guys who are just hopping on board with us here, in this grand final, vVv dropped map 1 by 100 points, 250 to 150 on the Makata hardpoint, sees them trail. Team Moon are coming from the winners bracket in this Katana OXC Super League final, and we are playing 2 best of 5s here, so we're a slightly different setup to what we're used to seeing from CDO and that kind of thing, so it is going to be different in this one, and it will mean that vVv are going to have to try and force a second best of 5, and at the moment they're looking pretty good for their money so far in the search and destroy. Bomb goes down, and now Team Moon going to have to work a retake.
Yeah, this is a very early plant. Nice aggression. Nice to see a change in strategy as well from Team Moon, who do need to get some rounds on the board. Joker just going to be backed up. There's going to be Zhao Cruz, who's just around that bomb site, and that's going to be another boost skill, and it's just going to be ended with a critical shot there. Moon able to get one on the board, Major, keeping this within 2. They didn't really want to let that slip to a 5th, and that just starts to become, you end up like playing with your food. vVv can start, trying different strategies and just trying to mix things up. But now the pressure's back on. They're going to want to see this out, or they're going to potentially face the fact that they're going to only have a 1-round deficit. So far, both teams just going off. Joker, though, big man himself, 1 and 4 right now, Major. Yeah. Really probably needs to get a bit more involved with the game. He did try and get a little bit aggressive, but a kill early in the round forced him to back up. But this is a good opportunity for him, maybe just to flex on this map and try and get this one done and dusted, so they get into control at 1-1.
So again, it's going to be 2 snipers. I'll try and grab the right one. COD timing's probably going to absolutely screw me here. The second I switch from one, the other player will probably get the kill. And there you go. Genesis is able to pick Keza off. The Twisted is still going to stick to this A side. And Cruz is going to be watching over towards that car park cross. So it will now be a 2 versus 3 in favour of Moon. Off the back of a couple of big picks. And now, after a very quick opener, we now see the traditional MW2 search and destroy style of probably nothing for the next 30-40 seconds.
Yeah, it's cat and mouse now, isn't it? It's like, who's going to make that move first? It's a nice coverage coming out of Team Moon, but again, they've left that ace. It's almost like you leave the site open so that you've got that opportunity maybe to push it, knowing exactly how you're going to do it. I think Vital is just going to have a peek to see if it's possible to switch it around. This could be a very brave ploy right now when you've got number 5 there and Twiz just watching any potential cross. Again, though, you just don't know what Twiz is turning up to this round. This is going to be one that gifts a free round. That's going to be a big kill. Brings them back to 2-all, mate. 17 seconds remaining. That bomb's going to need to get planted. But those red arrows have yet to respond. So expect that to go to A any second now.
Yeah. Well, bomb will go down. But the question is, will Genesis pop up and literally crack Twisted right in the face? No, you see the flash, and you see the body fall. Twisted gets yet another pick with the sniper. And it now leaves Twiz all on his own. Daddy's popped. Is he going to drop down right on top of one of these players? He's checking all the corners. Has Twisted spotted him? I think he has, you know. Well, he knows what direction he is now. The nade's going to come through. It's not going to collide with anything. And he's going to be forced to go up top. Will Twisted manage to work some magic here? Opens the door. There's one for Twiz. Can he manage to drop right on top of Twisted heads? He's right underneath him here, but he doesn't realise it. And with 14 seconds remaining, he's got to be quick. He's got to get a defuse along with the kill as well here. And it's not looking doable. Twisted, pistol out. He won't get the kill, but he won't have time for the defuse, will Twiz. So it will be another round on the board. And again, Pabs, another big pick from the young man Twisted with that sniper. Another round makes it 5-2.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to say single-handedly gets the round, but that kill in and of itself just puts the pressure on Twiz. In a 2v1 time is going to be the factor, and just incredible play so far. I mean, Major, you wouldn't want to pop your head out of anywhere facing that young lad right now. Twisted just dominated so far. Obviously, Vital with that. His stats look great, 7 and 4. That two-piece that we saw him go on when he came around the back, great play. Puts him into that kind of joint kill lead position. And again, I mean, Mike Jock has just put his pad down for this. Largely let his team just rock on with it, but it's exactly what they need. This is what you want. Oh, Genesis, insane plays. He's going to try and anything Twisted can do. Rams it down the throat of Team Moon.
Wow, that's a quick round. It's not over yet, but saying that, Jock has all of a sudden lost all his buddies. And that bomb's gone down very, very quickly. Genesis, again, it just feels like Battle of the Snipers at the moment. He is going to watch the cross. Is it going to be another one for him? I thought he had a sniper. No, he didn't. He managed to pick up attack, and he managed to get another kill to go with it. So 3 on the board there for Genesis. And a really quick bit of play down the car park side. I thought he wasn't even going to get one of them when he got weakened up by the nade post, but he manages to snap onto 2 of them.
I mean, that's what you want, isn't it? If you want a response, if you want some team morale to be boosted, then Genesis absolutely cracking off 2 with a sniper. But again, if you kind of delve deep into what that means, is largely relying on a more difficult weapon over distance, and at that kind of range, allowing the team to get that far pushed up, again, is a problem in itself, and maybe explains why we're at a 5-3 situation for Team Moon. S&D definitely not being their bread and butter so far. Can vVv see this out, though? We see 2 skulls on the side of the team in blue. Twisted and Keza potentially going to go out to the next round if they are, and it is going to be Zhao Cruz who falls for Team Moon at a 3v1. Are we going to see a massive comeback, Major, at this late stage in the S&D?
Well, don't write them off. Twiz and Genesis are now combining for 8, and there's another round on the board for them. So a lot of pace all of a sudden being injected into the search and destroy from Moon. And they are getting every single pick that they need to right off the start of some of these rounds. It will be Nar with the final kill there onto the back of Vital. Couldn't really do much about that one. But wow, very, very explosive start to this one. Every single time Team Moon bring the pace to the search pads, it seems to be paying off. They've still got to do it for 2 more rounds, but it's going well for them in the late stage of this search.
Absolutely, and we've mentioned this all the time. A good team has to have a plan B, has to have a different way of playing, and it looks like going through the gears, just adding that 10% of pace, getting the geography down. The key for me is always, if you're going to get a kill, especially close quarters, just take up the geography, just take up that little bit of room, and start to play your angles. Again, we're going to see Genesis potentially with the one. It is going to force him out, though. Quite an exposed position. Twisted is going to get a shot on Twiz, though, so it is going to be, again, pressure right onto Team Moon, though. This is a big kill, and Twisted is going to be able to get that top there. In fact, he gets dropped by Zhao Cruz, so it's Major. It's going to be a 2v2, Major, as we hit the 1 minute mark.
Yeah, Vital's got Deddy as well. Oh, but Cruz is just holding the angle, and he manages to take him down. No roots on that occasion for Vital. Now Keza's last man up. He is getting close to Deddy saying that, but he is making quite a bit of noise over towards car park. Can he manage to stay alive long enough to maybe make the play here? So dead silence. There it is. As soon as it comes through, that's his green light to go. What route is he going to take? He's going to go through the embassy building all the way around the back here. Is he going to manage to get at least one? Bomb is going down. Cruz will plant. Keza going to try and fly around the corner. He might manage to catch out one. He spots them both. Oh no, the shot's going to give away his position, but Cruz is peeking the top, and he knows that Gnarl is in orange as well. So now, can he at least manage to isolate one of these gunfights?
Yeah, it's a shame he hasn't got a nade really to just put a little bit of pressure, but time is not going to be on his side. I think he needs to push this as quickly as possible. That's a great bit of run. That's one down. He just needs to get the other kill. Is that person going to push him in? Oh, he's got so much time. Can he finish the kill though? Oh my god, no one's going to get the kill. 17 seconds remaining, Major. I did not smell the waft of around 11 coming, but Team Moon, incredible. Oh, in fact, it's Keza. I've read that entirely wrong. I'll get me coat and I'll see you later. Incredible play to round that off. I was like, who's going to win that gunfight? Insane plays.
Well, I thought he was whiffing it at the start, was Keza. And I'm not sure about the play there from Cruz. Maybe just a little bit over-enthusiastic there, just trying to run away rather than staying on the high ground and taking a different route. So it will be vVv who tie it up on the back of the search and destroy. And we are going to see a little bit of a cheeky extension to the series. Perhaps map 4 is guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want at the end of the day, especially at 2 best-of-5s. It's a whole day dedicated to the Super League final, so you do want to see this kind of close back and forth. And let's be perfectly honest, between me and you, once my brain has actually got reinserted into the head and I can remember to read the game correctly, we want to see how Xiao Cruz performs in an El Asilo. So we want to see that game 5 at the end of the day. I mean, we want to see game 10, let's be perfectly honest, but we do want to see that El Asilo. So that's absolutely huge in terms of getting to that point, but there's a long way to go yet, and El Asilo control is by no means a cakewalk for either of these teams. And the question is Xiao Cruz going to be able to transfer that dominance in El Asilo S&D into control?
Yeah, I'm interested to see kind of how the respawns again look for vVv. Map 1 looked very, very convincing in favour of Team Moon, and I mean, we've seen kind of the ability that some of the players on this vVv roster have in Search and Destroy. We know that Vital is a very accomplished Search and Destroy player on his own, so they've got ability in that roster. It's just whether they can transfer it into Respawn, because Team Moon did look very, very good in Map 1. Albeit, though, we know what a control on El Asilo can bring, which is a lot of question marks and a lot of, I'd say, one door opening to stack the point, and it's done. So it can kind of fall either way, it feels as though, sometimes, this map in control. Although you do have to be relatively consistent in getting picks and getting trades. It feels as though if you get one bit of good fortune, especially over towards that B side, you just stack the point and you've got the attacking round. So this might necessarily be a bit of a swing one here for vVv. I think if they take this control, they're looking very, very good to force the second best of 5. If they drop it, however, and it does go to that Albagra hard point in map 4, then I think we might see them struggle a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me the key to this is it's about bravery, and if you're going to push out to B from the rip, getting that done and dusted is the key. You can't then afford to be split between 2 points trying to, let time go by. This is all about an efficient investment of lives. So if you're gonna go and take B, you've got to do it in the knowledge that you can't afford to drop 8 lives off the rip and be at like 22, 29 in life count. It just can't work like that, because if you don't get that B and then you're fighting between A and B, you're just going to get done for lives. If you're going to commit to A, it's obviously a little bit easier, but you're going to have to do it with a wide player, just watching anyone pushing across or anyone pushing across the top, or watching the flank as well. So it comes with its own problems, but it's about that sensible investment of lives. Like, A is obviously easier, but if you're going to if you're going to be brave and go for that B strategy off the rip, then you can't afford to lose 8 lives in the process. You need to do that with a 4 or 5 life loss potentially, and that's only after you've at least got the zone out or got 90% of the way there. So it's a weird situation. It's about bravery for me.
Yeah, and we always like to highlight players that we haven't seen a huge amount of, that have come up in their first opening years. Felix is the player that we talk about very frequently, the British phenom that he gets memed for on the timeline now, the Dot.
He's old now, old hat.
I know.
Now,
well, this is the thing now. It's kind of like all of a sudden we're talking about this what was the Vitalized roster, Twisted, Shunk, those boys. All of a sudden they've come through this game in very quick fashion. There was a lot of whispers at the start of the game at how good they might be individually, especially, and now all of a sudden they find themselves on some of these top rosters, and they're putting the numbers into boot with it as well. Twisted obviously had a very, very good map 1, and he's again another player. If we can see that consistency, then there's no reason why he can't really push himself up challenges as a whole, because even though people might consider this as just like an amateur league, we are now seeing floods and floods of challengers team enters this. For anyone who doesn't know, these guys are playing for 1,500 quid and a team pass for Toronto, so there's a lot on the line for these guys, and as a result of it, you're seeing a lot of the higher echelon players in challengers enter these tournaments to try and win the prizes and go with it. So it's a brilliant platform for some of these young players to get embedded in the scene, show people what they've got, and then all of a sudden we've got a new name to talk about.
I think obviously for players like Twisted, it's a weird situation for them to be in. I'm sure they're probably trying to convince their parents that they want to make COD a career, and something like this where they can earn a good chunk of money, and if that's going to go towards them traveling out to Toronto, is exactly what they need to be able to say, look, you know, this is a worthwhile endeavor, and that's a large portion of that kind of psychology is important, that they get that kind of support. So yeah, it's great to see these young lads doing it, and it's great to see them, you know, in an opportunity to make some money as well.
Yeah.
Twisted, I mean, you'd largely argue Twisted probably not the most hyped player out of that quartet. I mean, Maestro had an absolutely blistering start to this season, and we know Chunk's been picked up by a good challenger side and played really well an aspect as well. So sometimes it's difficult to pick, but again, this fiery start over towards B, it does look like they were looking to push over towards B, and there has been a heavy investment to lives without a tick going over, and this is what we talked about earlier on. You can already see that now, that transition to A, but you've lost time, Major. You're at 46 seconds, so even if you get A, you're not giving yourself a whole chunk of time to get B, and you've also cost yourself, you know, 7 lives in the process without getting any time on that A zone.
Yeah, and Jocker's doing a really good job just locking down this position, and this is a very, very somewhat slow start to the opening of this control here from Moon. They have been pinned back now for quite a considerable amount of time. Genesis is going to shoulder the backside of this shed area, and he will get tagged up. Well, the stun somehow won't hit him, though, so it will be Jocker a little bit baffled as to where he's gone. He will manage to get another kill, though. Will Jocker 4 in a row before he does finally fall, and now they will get on the point, but we know how difficult this can be sometimes to hold if you don't have that man over towards that back tower area. Keza on the high ground. Long, nice shots from Niall. Able to take him down. Vital will manage to get one. Are they going to manage to punch off any more players? They look as though they might have just given this one up, Pabs, and they're going to do the other very typical hold off B. But they've done a good job of clawing back the life count. They were trailing by quite a lot at one point.
Yeah, I mean, that's vital as well to the whole strategy. I mean, if you're going to blister a few lives away on B and then have to take that A zone, you're going to have to do it and get some kills of your own as well. It doesn't leave them with a great deal of time. This is the one caveat to this strategy, is that you are left with under a minute now to try and get what is 3 zones over towards B. It's largely going to come potentially down to TDM, but Major, how many times have we been in this situation where there's been 12 seconds, 10 seconds, 8 seconds on the clock? Looks like the team's done and dusted, and then they just get a 3 stack and are able to do it. Right now, again, you're looking at Twiz on Team Moon, who just needs to just start picking up a few kills if he wants his team to catch up in the kill count. But vVv doing a really good job of just absolutely dominating and applying pressure to this team in red.
Yeah, Vital's doing a good job as well of just roaming and picking up players that are trying to just get over and stop the clock. You can see that Twisted is really, really tucked away over in that far corner of the map, and he should... Oh, is he going to get spotted here by Twist? I think he has been spotted, actually, so it might be a kill. Oh, no! Twisted is just going to turn around and manage to take him down, but now Red Arrows slowly working their way up the map. They still haven't dealt with Vital, though, who's been patiently waiting for the right time to pinch this, and it might be the right time. There's 6 in a row for Vital, still looking for more players. He will get shot in the back, though, and it looks as though Keza holding the front of the fort is able to take one down. Genesis will fall as well, and that is really good work here from vVv. Only 6 lives remaining as Red Arrows try and get on the point, but that first round is done.
Yeah, really nice reads from Keza at the end, just pre-firing the corner of Truck there to get that second kill. Doesn't need the third, as one of his compadres is going to come in and get that final kill. It is indeed going to be Joker, who's absolutely picked up a slow start to the series. He didn't have a great hard point. He largely wasn't involved in the S&D, despite his team doing so well, and then able to just come absolutely huge in the control. Major, if you're going to want one of your in-game leaders, one of your bigger name players to come through at this time, this is the perfect time to do it. They have got to get this win. I think they've got to go into the hard point 2-1 up. But again, you just got to see. You talked about one of the players earlier on. We do find that Samir Twiz can be a little inconsistent. Sometimes he can drop, like, go on a 12 streak, dominate a game, and then sometimes he can just disappear. And I think this could be, you know, largely a problem for Team Moon. If they can get him firing on all cylinders, great, because they'll have him, Zhao Cruz going huge. But again, if he has a silent game, this could be a problem.
Well, Vital is here over on this B point, but Twiz is going to cut down 2 players as he comes through on the pinch. So nice work from the Frenchman. And there's going to be another player. Oh, he didn't spot the man on the left, though, as Twisted is able now to cross over. But Joker has managed to get himself in towards the underside of top AC as he manages to get on it. Ooh, Genesis hears him. I'm pretty sure he hears him. But he's actually going to cut down another player that's coming off spawn here. So Genesis playing it patiently. I think they still know that he's around here. And Jocker peeks it, and he does. Wow, absolutely fries him. So Jocker doing really good work. Twiz will finally take him down out from that spot. And it will be a little bit of a split approach here. So Twisted on the A point, Keza on the B, and you would assume the Team Moon are just going to prioritise B.
Absolutely, it's going to be a very slow progress at either side, but it's going to put. They needed to stop the clock, Major, at 32 seconds. They were starting to see the wrong side of time there. If they get that time over, that's going to be kill feed going back and forth. Finally, there's going to be a little bit of control going the way of Team vVv as Keza is going to be on that kill, but he needs to get that fight, and Genesis is just going to get that nade straight onto his bunch. For me, they've got to concentrate on B, get that ticked over, because at 23 seconds remaining, this is going to be an absolute struggle. It's been a stout defense, and Major, we talked about Twiz. He's absolutely picked up from being, I think, 1-5. He's now 7 and 10. Jocker though, Major, with a 3 streak, but it is a team nade in the end that's going to do that.
Well, they're on 14 seconds though. They do have lives here at the moment, vVv, so I'll tell you what, this might potentially just come down to the defensive side getting outslain. They've not got any more real goes at this apart from 2 more waves of lives, so can Twiz make a play here? Can't afford to throw away too many. You can see the slaying that is in favour of the team in blue. Twiz will manage to pick up one down low. Oh, nice shot onto Twisted, but Twisted pre-fires. He anticipates the reach out, and he's able to take him down. So now only 7 lives remaining for Team Moon. It's not looking great. And vVv have now got that additional minute on the clock.
Yeah, they need this though. This could be, I mean, it's difficult for Team Moon. They're going to have to get themselves a good wave of kills now. So it's going to come down to individual gunfights. That's not going to work for Zhao Cruz though. It's going to come down to individual gunfights. They've still got almost a two kind of like life count over them, 2-to-1 ratio over them. That's going to be huge though. 5 lives plays 11 time to just play some heavily in proportionate S&D. By the kill feed goes blue like that, Major, vVv with a strong opportunity to potentially get this done and dusted just through kills.
The nade's got to be good. Is Jocker going to get taken out by the nade? No, he is not. Cruz is going to try and push up. He spots Keza. He needs to win the gunfight. Nope, Keza has none of it. And that now leaves Genesis all on his own. Vital takes him down, and vVv looking very, very, very good. It must be said. 2-0 up now in the control. And I'll tell you what, Babs, they're looking very good for their money.
Yeah, I mean, we were largely concerned about their ability to go big in the hard point, but for Respawn, they're looking very tidy, and this is, you know, we talk about a reinvigorated Shocker who had a very slow start to this series, has come good. Everyone seems to be firing on all cylinders. They seem to be reading the game a lot better. It's just been a much better performance, but really on the back of Senor Shocker, 17 and 8, he's more than double positive in terms of his kills. Incredible performance in this control to bring his team not just you know, on the precipice of going 2-1 up and taking this control, but just reinvigorating them as a whole, giving them that extra 10%, that bit of spark.
Well, explosive start potentially. Yep. Part of the partners, Keza gets the nade for the first kill, but he is still going to be over towards that point. Nope, those red arrows are now going to try and work their way up. You can see that Jocker is playing it very, very patiently over towards B. And you would anticipate with a double stack here, they're probably not going to go at this too heavily here, vVv, because this is the difficulty of LSELO control. Once they're in, it's so difficult unless you're taking that high ground to push these players out. LSELO going to check the corner, and I'll tell you what, the kill feed goes very, very blue, very, very quickly. Genesis is able to dip out by the skin of his teeth. It is looking like he does have help in the form of Jocker as well, who has transitioned, as Jonathan Wass would say. Transitioned over towards this point. The A progression, though, is still coming through. Niall's able to pick off 2, and it looks as though that A point's done. All on B, boys.
Yeah, nice 202 as well to do it with. So really nice, you know, talk about investment of lives. They've kept it reasonably civil with only 6 lives lost. They've done much better than vVv in terms of that, though. That is going to get evened up at 22 lives apiece. But they've done it with a hell lot of time to work with now. So a solid 1 minute 43, but they have got to deal with Jocker, who's got himself fairly far forward. A nice bit of geography. I don't know whether he's going to be able to have read that they've pushed over through mid, but number 7 there in Twisted, good opportunity. He gets absolutely obliterated by Genesis. Team Moon have got to go huge. Major, one player we've been bigging up about is LSELO prowess all day. Say all day. Prior to the game, he's on 8 and 20. Yeah. Where's Zhao Cruz gone?
We've jinxed him royally, like we always seem to. Apologies, yeah. So, with Jocker and Vital, and Kez, to be fair, absolutely slaying out. It is looking very, very difficult here for Moon. They've got to try and just wait for the right opening to push. And when Vital is getting 2 pieces, that just stops all momentum and forcing them back a couple more steps just to regroup before they then push once again. It is looking so difficult. They look to be just contemplating that right time to push. But Kezza's all the way out the back. They're going to have to shift in before they at least try and get someone on the point. Genesis has managed to get himself over towards that wall jump-up area. Jockers, though, able to grab one. Kezza grabs one as well, and the kill feed very, very blue. And, I mean, it was 2 minutes, Pabs. We talked about a lot of time, but in typical LSELO control fashion, that time has just completely gone down the pan.
Yeah, absolutely. They just got themselves a handful of team wipes. The kill feed goes blue, and there you are, sat back on 30 seconds with it all still to do. I mean, don't write it off. We've seen 8-second takeovers before now, but they haven't been able to dig a Joker out at all. He's just had his absolute way towards the back end of this map.
Ooh.
They still haven't stopped him. 23-9. He's on a 4 streak. 9 seconds away from putting his team into the lead. Vital's going to drop Ordnance straight onto their bouncers. And that is a dominant flex right there to say, we are here, we are now, mate.
Wow.
And they look very strong in that.
Well, Triple V, vVv, whatever you want to call them, they were outstanding in that control. Slaying, stacking, attacking, and defending. They pretty much did everything they needed to utmost perfection. Their Vital finished 22-9, by the way, in that one from him. So the slaying power, I mean, you mentioned it, Pab. Zhao had a rough one. Genesis again. Twiz as well. They all kind of had rough numbers, and as much as you can stack points and play the objective, if you're not getting gunfight wins frequently, or at least making trades, that's what happens. And unfortunately, that was a very, very one-sided map number 3.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know that like hardpoint, you can go neg in terms of KD and then still win the hardpoint, but control, you've got to get that first few wipes. You've got to get the first 6 kills if you're going to get the control zone and do it over. You're going to have to get that first 4-man wipe. You're probably going to have to get the next 2 transitions over. So you're going to need to get a few kills, but you're also going to need to then control, mid-map, get some kills in transition just to make your way over to the other side. Or obviously if you get dealt with, getting recontrolled. So if you're dropping an 8 and 23 in a control map, it's I don't know. It's not great. You really need to pick things up. I think Team Moon needs to just have a little bit of a rethink, a rejig, because they've gone so far onto the back foot that they looked incredible on that map 1, but
Yeah.
a lot of really good good players with great gun skill can make a hard point without necessarily employing the smartest strategy. But then once you start getting into these strategic games and you start falling by the wayside, that's not a good sign, because you're going to end up hitting that S&D at the end of the day. If they've got to go big here, take it to a very difficult S&D.
And Mr. Kane, thank you very much, mate. 14 months. How are you, Kane? Long time no speak. And Siege wants a suit. You got to do it as well, Pab. Sorry, buddy. He's asked for you as well. So 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's good. It's good to be back. And yeah, thank you very much, Kate, for dropping the sub, buddy. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. But yeah, map 3 goes in favor of vVv, who take that respawn and take the lead in this best of 5. But mentioning that, guys, we will get the bracket out for you while we wait for the respawn in map 4 to get underway on that hard point. But yeah, Team Moon coming through that winners bracket. So vVv are going to have to do it again in a second best of 5 if they are going to go home with that £1,500 and the Toronto team pass, by the way. So shout out the boys at Katana and OXC as well for bringing some absolutely beautiful prizes to these young lads, putting in a shift. But Team Moon, Pabs, I mean, very good hard point in map 1. You don't want to count them out. I mean, map 3 was very convincing, let's be honest. I didn't see it being that convincing, but it was. All that being, though, we know how Fortress hardpoint operates. Money hills. If you don't rotate early and win those important gunfights, if you drop a P3, it doesn't matter how well you do in maybe P4 or the opening hills. If you don't get those money hills under your belt, you struggle big time on this map. And it's kind of a very typical thing that when players are on P2, you've still got 30 seconds left and you've already got 2 players committing towards the rotation on some of these teams because they know the importance of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you've got like the handful of scenarios, basically. We know P1's going to be largely contested. It's a much more difficult hill to contest if you start on that kind of P2 side. Then it's the jockeying for P2 position, which can still remain contested. But again, if you get solid time across those 2 hills, P3, it becomes a fight, but you're already set up potentially for P4 as long as you don't push in too late. Now, what we do see from inexperienced teams is gets to about 20 to 15 seconds on P3 remaining, and they push in and try and get the scrap time. They dedicate 3 players to it. They spawn in P3. The other team spawns out and then goes and gets another 40 seconds on P4. So, this is all about the this is less about going into this game with a strategy potentially any kind of insane strategy, and being able to read the game as it plays out, being able to see, you know, we've had a great P1, P2, maybe we don't need to commit too heavily to P3, let them get 40 seconds, or, you know, just try and shell them, and let's get settled for P4, or potentially knowing to chalk and then try and get 60 seconds on P3, and then let the team push onto you for that P4 switch. So it's about reading. This is very much about reading the game as it happens in this particular map.
Yeah, and we can see, we normally see, at least if it becomes a very one-sided affair on this map, usually those assault rifle players tend to bag a lot of kills. Again, trying to break into a P3 as an SMG player is not easy to do. You need some form of AR presence on the map to be able to get the pick, whether it's the guy on the hill or whether it's the guy kind of up those steps as you try and push through double doors. It's very, very hard. But all being, you do have opportunities again, although it's more difficult on this map to slip through and work some of those kind of those lanes that some people might not pick up, especially over towards that hill towards dark where the cannon is. But you can still get some good routes for some of these SMG players. It's just kind of that middle map presence, kind of the initial 3 lanes. If your ARs aren't pushed up far enough to pin teams back, you open the doorway for the likes of a Cruise to be able to slip through and all of a sudden pop 2 pieces, get 3 kills when you don't expect it.
Yeah. I mean, the routes on this obviously are a little bit more difficult for a lot of the players in transition. Owning the middle map from one side to the other is quite important, because obviously you've got players transitioning from P3 to P4, from P2 to P3, you know, and you've got opportunities to maybe dominate by killing players in that transitional period.
Yeah.
And again, it's just it is a little bit more difficult for me. Another scenario is trying to minimize the opposition getting streaks. Don't allow players to get streaks, because if it is tight, that P5 can be really important. It's so open. It becomes it largely tends to end kind of around that period as well. We found ourselves in a P5 a few times where streaks have come in really useful in terms of dominating that. So yeah, a few scenarios are available here, but again, for me, it's just all about this map in particular is about reading where your team is in terms of what it needs to do. Does it need to commit heavily to the money kills, or can it, you know, maybe get a lot more time and a lot more success out of your P2, out of your P5, out of your P4 when you're inside? All those moments I think are important.
Yeah. So guys, we are now loading into map number 4. So vVv are right on the edge of forcing the second best of 5 here in this grand final of the Katana and OXC Super League. And remember, they are playing for £1,500 and a team pass to Toronto for unlimited maple syrup. So we'll have to see how this map unfolds. And in typical P1 fashion, we are going to see Mr. Nile. Unfortunately, he's going to be that man who draws the short straw to get on the hill. So vVv obviously not on that preferred side, Pabs, but you can already see number 5 Joker just toying with the idea of pushing through right out the gates.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they want to get that control for P2. They can largely contest this P1, although it does look like they're slightly pinned back. So a healthy chunk of time going Team Moon's way. We did see this in the first hard point where they did get off the rip. They were just so very strong. That's a big kill though. With 18 seconds remaining, the boys from vVv, if they can get onto the hill and get any control, they have flipped it, but they're going to give away a large amount of time. So Major, for me, this is all about them holding P2, and we might actually see an interesting battle over to P3.
Nice work from Vital, able to get a pick before he is subsequently traded out by Twiz. But now this is the difficulty. Can Cruz manage to close the distance here? It looks as though he's going to change his route. He's going to pop up, and some good timing onto Kez that's going to enable him to get in towards top dark. So Twisted at the back of the hill is going to be flown on, and Cruz, there you go. He's got his afterburners on, flies straight out towards the hill. And now we are going to start to see that kind of that 50-50 split. Twisted is still out the back. They're going to have to try and take Cruz off the hill. Are the trophy systems going to keep him alive? No, they're not. So no trophies on the point, and the kills go blue. So it looks as though vVv have done a really good job of just breaking straight back in again.
Man, praise the Lord, mate, because they didn't do that in map 1. They got absolutely cut through like butter again on this hill, but were able to fight back, and that's something we didn't see in the previous hard point. So maybe we're seeing a revitalized, stronger performance coming out of the team in blue. Major, there is the player right on screen there, Mr. Twisted. 5 and 2 is a player they are going to have to rely on. Right now, Keza is a bit slow to the party. 1 and 5 with only 6 seconds on the clock. This is a good opportunity. Is he going to read that player? Joker has got a big opportunity here to get some kills in transition. Pressure needs to be put on that. Number 7 Major has got to go huge here. This is all on Twisted. and he's not going to be able to do it. Looks like Team Moon Major are going to extend that lead out.
Yeah, and now they are on the money hill. They have got 3 players set up. You would assume that unless there is a really booking Modern Warfare 2 spawn, that they will spawn all over towards that side. And that's exactly what happens. So now they're going to have to try and just guard him on the hill, and the trophy doesn't keep him alive. So look at that punch through from vVv. Kez is going to draw the short ball, though, as he flies straight in. Another one for Cruz, and triple for Zhao Cruz as he jumps straight back on the hill. It looked as though vVv were going to break straight back onto that hill, and then young Mr. Zhao Cruz just arrives and has absolutely none of it and says, no.
It's just like kill feeds entirely blue with different players, and then Zhao Cruz just goes, Cruz, 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 thank you very much. Going to put them in the back pocket. If you think you're going to fly out, I'm going to fly out even better. 7 and 6 with 35 seconds. We did see this as a player for Team Moon that can put up big numbers and head, you know, especially if Team Moon can go big on this particular map, going into that LSELO S&D, he's got to be feeling confident. Right now, though, everyone seems to be getting picks. Kez is probably the only one on the struggle bus massively at 4 and 5. He was at 4 and 8, now 5 and 9. To vVv, as again, just slightly off the pace, Major, just too easily pushed off the point, and then just not really getting able to get back on. This could be huge for them, though. With 40 seconds remaining on this hill, they can tie things up.
And this is man again. Fresh face, but by no means trying to keep up with the pace of this game. He is having another good map here as Twisted. There's going to be another couple of players flying onto him. There's one. Another one up dark. It's going to be Twiz, and Twiz, that's what he does from time to time. Flies out and manages to grab a big 2-piece, which will allow Moon back in the hill. And now vVv find themselves on the back foot here. Still 20 seconds left remaining on this hill, but this lead is really starting to push out. It looks as though Kez is going to be the man just to try and lock down the middle portion of the map. But you've got to keep an eye on Cruz again. He's going on a little bit of an adventure, built by Baggins style, all the way around the back of P3. And unless Twisted reads this, he might be able to be a bit of a thorn in their side here. And I think he's been stun checked, so he might be dead. Oh, never mind.
Oh, my days, Zhao Cruz, that is dirty. 9 and 8. Vaporizes the player there. It is going to be a push out. Jock is going to get dealt with, and that P5 is going to be again Major. Big problem for vVv is they're just so easily pushed out of the hill as Twiz just vaporizes that player. 13 and 11 puts Vital on the back foot there. Incredible play again from Team Moon. Looking very, very strong in hardpoint. Just able to get kills, able to get those jump shots. Zhao Cruz has been an absolute pain in the arse for the boys of vVv. 132 to 68, got themselves well over a 70-second lead now, and this is where we saw ourselves in the first hardpoint, Major. Very much a similar situation.
Nice shots from Vital, able to take down both Cruz and Niall. But now they've got to get set up for that P1 second rotation. So a big chunk of time is going to be in favour of Team Moon here, but can vVv manage to work something? Vital now starting to ramp up a little bit. 4 in a row now for him as he slowly works his way back to even numbers. And it will be that P2 side that he is just going to be roaming around. So it's going to be difficult for Team Moon here to maybe try and keep Cruz alive on the hill. But saying that, Cruz is winning gunfights. Genesis is going to win another one as well. And although they're playing for P2, Pabs, they've got to be careful of P1 because this time is really starting to leak away from them here.
Yeah, and we had to, this is exactly what I was saying. It's about being able to read the game and just, you know, they've got to fight for everything. They do a great job. They needed to win that gunfight against Zhao Cruz. They needed 40-45 seconds to really get that time looking a lot better, and they got to get themselves 20 or 30. But in the process, Major, of getting those 30 seconds, they've given up the spawns for P2, and that's going to get the scrap time over to Team Moon, and they're now on good side to get P2. So again, just not really reading that entirely correctly, and not winning the gunfights is going to cost them absolutely huge. And Major, another time Zhao Cruz get dropped to 3 streak.
Yep, another triple for Zhao, and now this is where it starts to get a little bit concerning here for vVv, because they're behind on the rotation, they're behind on the point, and they're going to have to commit to P2. But the one thing they're going to have to be careful of is not committing too much too late on in the hill, because if they lose that P3 rotation as well, it's pretty much going to be chalk. So can they manage to work something here? They're not exactly being battered in terms of slaying. You can see that Jock's having a map as he manages to chew through 2 players, and they do get on the P2 hill. You can see that Vital is already heading over towards that map side. Another couple of kills coming through for Mike Jocker as he cuts through a few more players. Crusoe again is able just to beat the thorn in the side of them as he gets another 2 pits. Twisted is going to fly onto the hill. It doesn't come through, and now Niall just lurking. Are they going to spot him? They know he's here now, and look at the Blue Brigade. They are flying at him.
Yeah, Twiz is going to be the thorn. No, absolute nightmare scenario. He's got the high ground, but he does manage to get taken down. But again, they've managed to chalk so much time. 20 seconds given to Team Moon, puts them past the 200 mark. And, you know, this is where you just sit back and be like, just put some pressure on them. P3, they get 67s. They still got a 40-second lead. It's insane that they can stroll into P4 with that level of confidence. They are going to try and put some pressure on, get those picks, expect to see the kill feed blue. But largely, Major, is it going to make any difference when the Team Moon can just spawn into P4, get set up, and steal themselves 40 seconds?
Well, Twiz flies across. And Keza shoots him straight out the sky. Cruz is going to try and do the same as he does manage to get a pick. There's still going to be another man on his right here. He has no idea that Twisted is also there for the trade. So the money hill is a good one from vVv. They've just got to have another one now. So they're going to look to try and potentially push out from P3. And this is where it's difficult. They've got to try and work their way out of the hill that is difficult to break into. Team Moon have just got to try and compose themselves and control this middle portion of the map, but they are just going to turtle in potentially a little bit too much, Pabs. It looks as though they're a little bit paranoid to see if anyone has broken through. They haven't, and just by turtling in, they've enabled vVv to push straight up the middle of the map, and now they're closing in.
Insane plays if Team Moon are able to. This is freakish if Team Moon are able to give this P4 up. That is insane. It's going to take Twiz and Genesis just turtling up, just doubling up. Genesis goes absolutely huge, mate. So that's such a vital bit of play there for absolutely holding spawns for his team, holding that back position, putting pressure over towards this P2 side. Insane plays. They were so close to just gifting that P4 to vVv, just out of sheer paranoia, not counting the players, not calling out correctly. Insane plays. It is still going to be advantage Team Moon as they've got 24 seconds remaining. They're not going to win it on this hill. It is going to require another big performance. What, Major? As those skulls light up largely red, it's going to be number 7 in Twisted getting some time, and they're slowly chipping away at this lead.
Yeah, but again, scrap time. They're going to try and push out the hill, though. I think it was Twisted there that tried to run out the back, and unfortunately it's gifted them just a few more seconds. And it will now see Moon 20 points away. Oh, just 21 shy as Kezra and Vital managed to slap off a couple of players off that existing hill. But Genesis is now lurking over towards this stable side, and you can see that Twisted is going to be the lone man on the hill. There's not going to be a huge amount of hell, but he flies round at one. The trade, though, instant from Genesis. At least takes him off the point, and he gets another one, Genesis. So good work just by guarding the hill, at least for the time being. Will delay it ever so slightly, but now they've got Vital back on the hill, and those ARs are just going to watch over the top of him.
Yeah, absolutely. A big job there for number 5
kill.
in Shocker, who's got so many plays that he's going to have to deal with. It is going to be number 4, Niall, who manages to get into stables. That's going to be an important cross. They're going to need to dig him out. He's going to finally get taken down. It is going to be
again.
Twisted who gets that pick. That's going to get them onto the hill. They need to maintain the contest here. This is going to be so difficult for them. They've got to get the time and get set up for P1. Make sure they're set up on P2 side for P1 if they want to bring this back. They've chipped so much at this lead, Major. Incredible kills coming out of the team, but again, Keza, Major, with a huge job, and he manages to get the pick on Twiz. This could be incredible comeback from vVv.
Yeah, Genesis knows he's here, though. Oh, the shots from Genesis are good enough, but they are going to stay alive, at least for the time being. Vital's on the hill. He needs to play his life here. He's caught out at the worst of times, and now they're on the hill. The P1 time is ticking, and unfortunately, with only 7 seconds remaining, vVv have got to go. They're watching all of the crosses. Niall is chewing through players who are trying to touch. Vital's going to have the exact same outcome happen to him, and Moon will take map 4. Game 5's on the horizon.
Nice play by Moon. They read that perfectly at times. It did look like vVv were going to come back. They got a little fortunate over towards that P4, the second rotation, but they were able to hold on and did so well on this P1. Nearly ended on the P5 like we thought it might, but it comes back round to this final third rotation. Incredible plays are going to get us that Game 5, Major. Exactly what we wanted.
There you go. You love to see it, don't you? You love to see it. I mean, it would have been a bracket reset, which I wouldn't have been too opposed to. But yeah, Team Moon are going to clutch it up. So 2 hard points from them. And now we go in towards that Game 5 Search and Destroy. So I will just quickly update the map score so that you guys get confirmation of it. And it was 250, 210. There you go. Both hard points glowing red as Team Moon coming through that winner's bracket. Of course, they only need to take this Game 5 and they will be crowned the Katana OXC Super League champions, and they will be going home with that £1,500 and the Toronto team pass to boot. So, LSELO Search and Destroy, Pabs, the Furious Liam map for SMGs that we like to refer to it as. And again, we've seen kind of the influence that Zhao has had on this Moon roster. It might potentially be his breeding ground here, but saying that, I really don't want to jinx him and get an angry message after this one, but we'll have to wait and see.
I'm going to let you jinx him. I don't want the angry messages either, but we can only work from the stats. It's not like it's some existential, feeling that we get that he, as just turns up. Stats are there to back it up. He's absolutely gone off in LSELO S&Ds in the past, so it is something we can look to, and he hasn't let us down so far. But again, it's, about the opposition, allowing him to take those routes. Now, we would say that the king of the LSELO route is, of course, Liam. He's done this a million times, but got to be Cruz, has got to be second, a close second. So big opportunity now for Team Moon to put this to bed, but they are up against a very motivated side who won't be happy that they've lost a hard point, and largely on the back of just some kind of not unintelligent plays, but just not potentially reading the hard point correctly, and they've allowed them to kind of take hills when they shouldn't have. They were a lot better though, Major. Honestly, that first hard point where they were like getting cut through like butter, a lot better, a lot more disciplined performance, but still not enough. S&D though, it's a difficult one to call because it wasn't a dominant performance in map 2, but Twisted was an absolute monster. Let's be perfectly honest.
I'm interested to see if we get another sniper battle. I can see that Genesis has got his ready, so that excites me, as we are going to be guaranteed at least one. Oh no, he switched it. No, I jinxed it. Oh, me and my big ass mouth. Oh well. Well, we'll see if Twisted is running a sniper, because again, this is a map potentially, Pabs, where the snipers can have quite a big influence, and we'll have to wait and see how this one unfolds here between these two. But it looks as though middle building is going to be the opening for a lot of first engagements, and Kez was able to get that first blood.
Yeah, first blood straight onto Zhao Cruz, so hopefully the curse of the caster's been put to bed for him and he can go on to do bigger and better things. There's going to be a nice bit of geography taken up by vVv, who are going to apply that pressure, make it very difficult for Moon to be able to get any picks, and with that kill feed going exceptionally blue, Genesis is going to be left in a 1v4. Again, this would normally be a position where you'd just yeet yourself off the map, but I think with 49 seconds remaining, I think he's considering potentially being able to get at least one pick. I think the players have realised that he's going to be pushing out towards B, making that much noise. It's going to be a pretty easy kill for Genesis. He's just going to make some noise over towards that side pawn and pull Twisted out. And with 30 seconds remaining, Major, this would be quite some achievement if he was able to get bombed down. Even getting bombed down would be an achievement. Yeah,
well, nobody's currently in the site from vVv, but I would assume as soon as they hear him gallivanting around inside, it would be the prime opportune moment to fly. And Vital's just going to snake that. It's so hard on this game to win those gunfights, and it will be vVv first round on the board. Obviously, they won the search 6-4 in map 2, Pabs, and a solid start.
Yep, absolutely. I don't think you're picking Vital out from the bar there, are you? He's got himself prepared some fruit and manages to get himself a few kills as well. 2-0 right now. It's going to be vVv looking strong again, Major. And again, this is worrying for Team Moon, who largely relied on a very, you would say, a rarefied air performance from Genesis with the sniper to even put the rounds on the board that they did. So already looking a bit of a worry for the team in red. vVv looking very strong, and Twisted yet to get involved.
Well, Twiz has had a quiet series by his standards so far. Can he manage to catch potentially someone out from vVv? They are just playing this very, very slowly. Genesis will be watching over towards the B site, down over no man's, and Twisted is going to be that man, potentially, that might be on the receiving end of a sniper rifle bullet if he does overpeak it. So Twiz still working his way up a little bit over towards Kegs. Kegs is going to slowly... Oh no, I thought maybe he was going to wide peek that. The stun goes in, probably doesn't get much information from it. Jocker's going to be spotted, though, by Niall, who exchanged a couple of bullets. And this is a very, very tetchy opening start to this round, Pabs.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about that ability to have a second kind of game plan in the back pocket. It does look like Team Moon just a lot more cautious. Now, normally teams in that defensive position will take up an enormous amount of geography. This has allowed vVv to get very high up, and that is going to cost them. It is going to be one life each as we see Genesis drop Twisted, and we're going to see that kill feed go back and forth. But Major, this is largely on the back of Team Moon, allowing that team to push so far forward. With only 14 seconds remaining, though, the emphasis is going to be on the boys to stick this. It's going to be Vital straight down, but it's going to be Niall, Major, straight onto the defuse. Is he going to be in time to get that pick? I don't think he is. Niall's going to get the defuse.
No. He dropped off it, but they got the kill. I mean, I thought he was just going to stick it. I assume that Twiz probably screamed that there was going to be a man pushing over towards him. But he does hop off the bomb, and they are just going to wait for that dead eat just to stop so that they can start regenning some of it. But yeah, there was an opportunity to stick the bomb. Obviously didn't decide to, Pabs, but they do take an all-important round, because the last thing you're going to want to do is start trailing by 3, potentially 4 rounds here in the game 5. But nice little bit of stabilising there from Team Moon, and we find themselves tied up again.
He must have come off that bomb at like 98%. I was counting the seconds down when you went to the other player. I was like, so he's still on, he's still on, he's still on. It's got to be defused. But yeah, he must have pulled off at like he's pulled out at the last second and saved himself a bomb baby right there. But it is going to be 1-1, tied up 2-2 in the series. It's been a very close encounter so far. Twiz yet to get off the mark, Twisted yet to get off the mark. So a long way to go for both these teams. vVv looking to apply the pressure. Vital going huge already, and it's going to be Joker with the first blood advantage. vVv.
Oh, well, Cruz is in the sight. His teammate Twiz is just a little bit behind him. Oh, Genesis is going to get chased now. Twisted on the hunt. Manages to just about slip away, though. So the bomb will go down. Twiz pops Deddy. Oh, but they managed to take Genesis down, so it's going to take a lot of work here. But they say they line up, and Twiz, the Frenchman, comes flying through with 2, but all of a sudden, he gets traded out himself. And now Cruz is in a difficult spot. He's got to hit some absolute worldy shots here if he's going to win this one. Jocker's on it, just around the corner. And meanwhile, Twisted's on the bomb. I think he's just going to stick this. I think he's going to call it. No, he's going to hop off as well. So Cruz is going to have a second bite at it. We're going to have a bit of deja vu, but it will be Twisted holding on, making the kill. And vVv going to take their lead again.
I just don't know whether that's like, he just gets so excited, he jumps on the bomb, and the other player's like, hang on, it's still a 1v2, I'm under pressure here, so jump off and help me get the trade. But either way, he couldn't have been far away from defusing that in the first case anyway. He does jump off and get the kill. That's going to make his stats look a lot better. A little bit of confidence for Twisted as well. 2-1. Incredible play at the end of the day by the team in blue. But this is largely major, worryingly going the same way as the first S&D. So Team Moon needing to pick things up. And again, we've bigged him up on the case of the caster. I don't want to say it. We've bigged up Xiao Cruz all day. He's 1-3 right now. We're going to need that player to go absolutely huge, pick some routes and get some kills.
Yeah, well, he hasn't got Deddy in the opening parts of this one, but he does have a frag grenade. And Keza might say hello to it. Whoop, just forced to back up behind pool tables. But Niall, meanwhile, has managed to get himself over towards that back tower side. So again, it looks as though Twiz might be the man who bumps into quite a few players here. His number 1 fan just to his left, but I'm just sorry, I can resist that one. And it looks as though we're again going to have a very, very slow attacking round here from vVv, Pabs. They're not very quick in forcing some of the sites here. They're always seeming to play behind a pick and then working off the back of it.
I think it's just largely because they're not putting support to Twiz. They're allowing him to take that geography on his own. Normally you would see, you know, someone kegs. You would see someone potentially over towards kegs, so you'd have a little bit of a tighter pinch. But yeah, they're a little bit slow, and I don't know, it's not working out for them amazing right now. But when your first pick goes the way of Genesis, that's a great sign. It is going to be a 2v4. Kez is going to pick up bomb. Oh my days, the kid's putting on a show. 4-3 major, 27 on the clock.
Genesis looking good with this sniper. Whoa, I thought he was going to get fed another one there, but he isn't. But what it does do is help Moon put another round on the board. 2 rounds apiece, and both attacking rounds at the moment. Not really paying off here for vVv. Potentially an argument, Pabs, where aggression might benefit them a little bit here. Obviously, if Genesis is running the sniper, unless he gets to like one of those important lanes that they're maybe bottlenecking down, they might grant him a kill. But you would argue, if he's running the sniper, maybe try and hit a lane out a little bit quicker and play for trades, because obviously with the sniper and a pistol in hand, he's not going to be the most reliable if it is a close quarters gunfight that he's forced to take.
Absolutely, yeah. The mobility is just out the window, and your ability, you know, unless you're super and you're kind of really au fait with kind of off-angle, tight angle, you know, use of the sniper, it becomes a lot more difficult. It might be time to change things up. We argue this all the time. We love to see snipers, but when it's not working, you know, over 2 or 3 rounds at time, and I don't even think he's going to realise there's no play there. He does now, gets that pick. It is going to force Keza to back up, though. He does think someone is out towards that build and over towards no man's land, so it is going to be 2 more kills on the board for vVv. As we see Cruz and Niall go through. Twiz is going to make it a little bit tighter, though, Major, as we have 50 seconds. Genesis and Twiz with a bit of a job to do.
Oh, Twiz gets another one as well. Oh my god, tries to stay alive. So meanwhile, Genesis is on the complete outskirts of the map. And meanwhile, Twiz is just running routes. His Daddy hasn't gone yet either, so he might be able to catch out Jocker down towards the other side of him. Oh, the timing might be absolutely hideous for him here. Oh, no, Twiz gets another one, so now he's on for the ace. Is he going to try and get the bomb down straight away? No, he's not. He's just going to back up and play his life. Potentially the smarter move. He puts a couple of bullets into Keza, and now that's going to be the invitation for him to rotate over towards B.
Absolutely, yeah, and you would expect the player in number 3, Genesis, is just going to be watching lanes, just making sure that he isn't able to just push through. This could be absolutely perfect. He's seen him, he's got the handgun out. Pressure applied, though. This is going to allow them to retransition. Oh, Keza puts it back right onto Genesis in a 1v1. This could be crazy. 35 seconds on the clock. Genesis with a pretty easy kill in the end. Team Moon looked very strong. A lot more accomplished in that, and that's going to give them that lead. 3-2. Team Moon looking very strong. And we needed to see that because that first S&D wasn't great, but they're looking so much better right now.
Yeah, and I believe that is the first attacking round victory that we've seen so far in this Game 5. And off the back of the Frenchman's triple there, Twiz doing God's work inside middle building, and we talk about the SMGs having an influence, Pabs, in these close quarters gunfights on this map, and that's exactly what he managed to do in that round. He almost got the ace, to be fair to him. It wasn't very, very far off, but it will be an important round on the board for his team. So Twiz getting close, and again, it's as though he's going to bump heads potentially with quite a few players here. One's going to fly past him. Door opens and out he flies, but Vital is just going to be right on top of that. Has absolutely none of it. First blood goes in their favour, and Keza picks up one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a little bit of overconfidence coming out of Samir. I think sometimes, as we say, you can be a little inconsistent. Nile goes absolutely huge as well with the wallbang. It is going to be a 2v2. Joker and Vital up against Genesis and Nile. The time in there, Joker's going to get a pretty easy kill. Thought he was going to be able to get that line of sight over to that second player in Genesis, but it's going to be Genesis and Joker up against each other. The two in-game leaders looking to go big, and it's going to be Genesis goes beautiful there. And that Major is going to give them that 2-round advantage in this S&D. A complete flip to what we saw in the first one. Incredible plays coming out of Genesis, coming out of Twiz. And you know, you look at the aggression, they push so far up, and it was so easy for Reed. Twiz goes out early doors, and it doesn't matter. They've just got the ice in the veins to see it through.
I didn't think Genesis was going to win this when Joker got the first bullet in. I thought he was dead to rights, but Genesis has just won 2 huge 1v1s now for Moon, who are now just edging their way out. And it is now a little bit of potential squeaky bum time here for vVv. This round is a very, very important one, but huge wins from Genesis. Ice in the veins. Rounds on the board. 4-2 up they go.
Big moment here for the boys of vVv. They're going to need to bring this back. 5-2 is not a place you want to be. A lot of rounds to claw back against a very accomplished side.
Oh,
Genesis again. Did he get a hit marker? How does that not kill a player? That's when I'm throwing the pad at the wall, honestly. Vital. Just going to be making his way round. I think this might be a bit of weird timing. Oh, the tree. I thought the tree had saved his life. Vital with the first blood, though. That is going to be a 3v4 advantage vVv. They need this round so badly.
Oh, Twiz is somehow still alive. He's managed to back one player up. And he is actually going to plant the bomb here. Nobody on the side of vVv are inside that middle building. So now they're going to have to try and collapse from a variety of different angles. And Genesis, oh no, has Vital seen him? He has the shots though. Oh, he just about gets away. But the info is going to be there for Keza to start pushing through. Is he going to jump right on top of his head? He is. And so, oh my god, I thought he was going to win that one as well. But now, Twiz and Cruz, can the duo of SMGs inside the site do it? It looks as though Twiz is going to have to work some French magic here. There's one for him. Can't manage to get any more. It will be Jocker with the defuse. And vVv, off the back of a little bit of a frantic round, they managed to take a round again, and we'll make it 4-3.
Major, we haven't mentioned it today, right? Because it's just been such a weird S&D day, but I'm starting to get the waft. The waft is coming through. I don't think we sensed it in the first round because Team Moon just looked good and they managed to see it out and they never quite got there. But this time round, I just think vVv know what's on the line. They know how important this is going to save them an absolute ton of money going to Toronto. There's so much on the line. I feel that if they're going to be looking to Twisted, for me it's now a Twisted versus Cruz battle. Who can come good? 3 and 6 versus 2 and 5. Who can get the picks now? If one of these players stands up, that team's going, you know, to Toronto, getting that team pass and getting those £1,500.
Well, Genesis is very, very stuck. Run, James. Yep. Oh no, never mind. He doesn't get out. I thought he was going to manage to get away. He doesn't. And now it will be a 3 versus 3 because Niall did manage to get a pick. And Twisted is going to be over towards that back tower side, but he doesn't have the gun to take the chow, unfortunately, there. Does Cruz. And they're going to be left in a 2 versus 3 situation here. Can Twiz and Cruz work a little bit of magic here? The bomb in the hands of Jokka is all the way over towards that shed side, but now Twiz is going to close the distance here. Twisted surely going to be dead to rights. Oh my goodness, there's a couple. There's one for Twiz. There's 2, and he's made the play yet again. He's managed to chew through chew. He's killed 2 people is what I meant to say. Excitement.
Did he chew through 2? You're creating your own crazy rhymes there. Jokka in a 1v2 isn't going to be able to do it. That's going to put Team Moon on the precipice, Major. 5-3. How just unfortunate, and again, just a fixation towards the back from 2 players for vVv in the end. Just not enough in the tank, and it's 9-5. Twiz absolutely going off. We talk about how inconsistent Samir can be, and sometimes when he goes absolutely off, he really can dominate a game. Right now, an incredible performance, 9-5 on a 3 streak. Is he gonna give Team Moon some more luck in this, or can we see an absolute comeback from vVv? We really do need Twisted to step up. Jokka is that in-game lead, has got to get that first pick. This could be a huge round for them.
Well, it's going to be very, very aggressive in towards A from both sides, potentially. Cruz is closing the distance, doing what he does best. Twiz is able to get one, but now he's going to fly through the window, and Cruz potentially a little bit too aggressive. They've got to be careful here. Twiz has managed to... No, I thought he got inside. He didn't. His ankles got shot. Oh, and Genesis shots in, and he manages to just get underneath here. Can he work a route? That's the question. Oh, no, Twisted spots him on the balcony. Very quick round, vVv. The aggression is going to pay off in their favour. Maybe a little bit too early for the aggression there from Zhao Cruz to fly inside the site. Obviously, Twiz went in for the trade. He got a little bit stuck over towards Kegs. And just like that, Pabs, I believe Twisted got 3 kills in that round. So a good round from him.
There we go. That's one of those things that we talk about with a player who's had a kind of poor performance in the S&D, been great in respawn largely, goes absolutely huge and puts himself on 6-6 on a 3 streak as well. But, I mean, you've got to look to Twiz 10-6 right now, but this is a very important round for vVv playing for the Katana Super League life right now. Genesis nearly, it's so easy for Genesis, Major. He's had an absolute blinding day with that sniper. Is he going to continue?
He's had a heck of a day with this sniper. He is absolutely battering people with it. Every single time you see a little blue silhouette peek the corner, 9 times out of 10, he has hit the shots. Whoa, but saying that, there you go, contact is cursed. Apologies, mate. He misses that one, but he has now.
I don't know. He's not seen Jokka.
No, I don't think he has, actually. So that's going to be a big moment. Twisted just underneath him. Whoa. But now Jokka just edging his way up ever so slightly underneath him. I really don't want to come off of Genesis here because it feels as though another pick is potentially on the horizon. If he does get this next pick, Pabs, it's just going to be so difficult for whoever remains on vVv.
I think Twisted knows he's just playing with his life a little bit, but again, largely the problem is that I don't think he realizes just how far pushed up Zhao Cruz is. Jokka is going to try and re-angle. He's going to try and get a better angle on both players. So that's going to be that sniper out the window. That's going to potentially be Zhao Cruz. The nade is going to
the shots are windy.
Some speed shots, windiest shots in humanity, and nade is going to take out Twiz. And that's going to be huge. 14 seconds though. Twisted's got to get a bomb down right now, otherwise these boys are going to be sailing out of the tournament.
Niles popped Deddy though. If he can get over there quickly, he's got to run. Jokka's on the outer lane. He spotted at least the man on the bomb. Oh, but Twisted absolutely fries him. Niles shot bullets all over the shot when he was trying to clear Jokka off that top cliff. And unfortunately, he gets fried at the end of the round. So it will be Twisted. Again, 6 kills in 2 rounds from this young man who has pulled his finger out and forced the round 11.
Well, I mean, we talked about someone needing to step up, and it really needed to be Twisted. He was absolutely off the game at the start. I think he was 2-6 at one point. Zhao Cruz being that player on the other side who hasn't quite stepped up. Twiz doing a large amount of the dirty work with Genesis and Niall. And this is round 11. We smelled it earlier on, and vVv have forced an incredible play by the team in blue.
Well, he's got streaks as well, Twisted. But the last thing he is going to want to do is get picked here, because that might be so important. Niall's getting nades into the site. He manages to weaken one up, and Twiz is just waiting for the right time to go. Doesn't manage to clear off a player. Wins the gunfight though against Vital. There's the first pick. He gets out with his life as well. When does Twisted invest this streak? He's still holding on to it. It's the last round. It's surely going to have to be soon. He's getting some shots into Niall. Can't get the kill, so there's no streak. But Kesra inside the site is able to get one. And it will now be a 3 versus 2. Kez has still got to play his life so well inside. Gets bullets into one, but Niles there. They've got him pinched. They've got him trapped, and they will get the kill regardless. Round 11, ice in the veins of Team Moon. They will pack their bags, and they will load their wallets. 1,500 quid goes to them. And a Toronto team pass to boot as well. Congratulations to those lads.
Incredible play. The aggression coming out of Twiz. Again, the confidence. We talk about how, you know, sometimes Samir can just be so infuriating player. But he just goes absolutely huge in the end there. 12 and 7. What a performance coming out of the Frenchman. Hats off. £1,500 in the back pocket. A Toronto team pass. We'll see you in Canada, boys. Incredible final to the Katana Super League.
So we'll just update that score just so you guys get confirmation of it. I really did think we were going to a second best of 5 in that one, but it wasn't meant to be. The ice in the boys of Team Moon, and they managed to take it in the first best of 5, 3-2. You can see some of the scores very, very close in that one. Map 4 and Map 5 especially. Map 3 a completely one-sided one, but it will be Genesis and the lads, Genesis Nile, Twiz, and Mr. Zhao Cruz, who will be getting that team pass and getting that all-important pocket money to go and get some scran over in Toronto. But congratulations to those guys. They will be crowned your Katana OXC. God, my verbal diarrhea today has been absolutely horrendous. I need to go to bed. Obviously, I haven't made it, so I'll have to wait a little bit longer. But it's going to be 3-2 in the end to Team Moon. And, I mean, commiserations there to vVv Pabs. They had moments where it looked as though it might go in their favour, but unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be today for them boys.
Absolutely. There was some, you know, you've got to look to the future. Twisted had some incredible games there, put up some amazing numbers. We see a lot of quality coming out to likes of Zhaka. We've seen him over the years playing some really high quality games, but it's just not to be Team Moon in the end. Just a little bit too strong. Zhao Cruz steps up when he needs to. Twiz goes huge. We talk about how infuriating a player he can be. Sometimes he can be the best player in a tournament, and sometimes he just looks like he disappears. Well, he appeared today just at the right time, just when you need him to step up. And again, you just look how reliable the likes of Nile and Genesis are. These kind of players that are always going to potentially put up good numbers and give you that foundation to allow you more expressive players like Zhao Cruz and Twiz to go off. So, I mean, congratulations, Moon. Very close and well fought from vVv. I'm sure they're super disappointed not to be able to get into the second best of 5 and see if they can apply a little bit more pressure. But again, Team Moon just, you know, they've made it right the way through the bracket, very deservedly so.
Yeah, and Mr. Twiz dropping by in the chat. Thank you very much for hopping by, mate. And LA, Monsieur Samir, there you go. The boys are off to Canada. And it'll be interesting to see how those guys do over there. Obviously, we always have that slight EU bias, don't we, for any teams that go across. So, listen, I'm trying to be political here, perhaps, okay? We have a horrendous bias, but we've got to try and play the game. So, it will be Team Moon heading over to Canada. Congratulations to those. But that will be it from myself and Pablo. Thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in. I say it's been a long time since me and Pabs have streamed on this channel. So, thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in and watched the Call of Duty action. Hopefully, we'll be back sooner rather than later for some more, as we are getting that passion back. But this game really doesn't like keeping our voices in one piece, it must be said, with all the excitement that goes on in it. But thank you very much, everyone, and we will catch you hopefully sooner rather than later for some more Call of Duty action. And we'll be keeping our eyes glued on the timeline and on some streams as well, some little cams going on hopefully in Toronto to cheer all the boys on. So thank you very much, guys, and we will see you all later for some more Call of Duty.